1 e4, Spassky opens with the king's pawn, inviting a classical and open battle. This was a direct challenge to Fischer on his home turf of 1 e5 responses. 1 e5, Fischer accepts the challenge, entering the open game. This promises a dynamic struggle, as both players were exceptionally skilled in these types of classical positions. 2 f4, the king's gambit. A bold and romantic choice from Spassky. He sacrifices a pawn immediately for rapid development and a powerful attack along the f-file. 2 x4, Fischer accepts the gambit, which is the most principled reply. He takes the material and dares white to prove that the attacking chances are worth the pawn. 3 nf3, Spassky develops his knight, preventing an immediate qh4 plus check and preparing to control the center. This is the most common and best move. 3 g5, Fischer chooses the classical defense. This move not only protects the f4 pawn but also prepares to challenge white's control of the kingside, leading to very sharp play. 4 h4, the Kieseritsky gambit. Spassky immediately undermines black's pawn chain, seeking to rip open the kingside files for his rooks at all costs. A fight is guaranteed. For g4, Fischer responds in the most aggressive fashion, kicking the knight with g4. He embraces the complications, further opening lines and creating a chaotic position. 5 n5, the knight lands on its thematic attacking square. From e5, it becomes a major thorn in black's position, eyeing the weak f7 square and disrupting coordination. 5 nf6, the main theoretical response. Fischer develops his knight, challenging white's central control and preparing to fight for the key squares around the e5 knight. 6 d4, Spassky solidifies his central control with d4. This move opens lines for his pieces and strengthens the outpost for his knight on e5, building his attack. 6 d6, Fischer immediately challenges the powerful knight. He forces it to retreat, hoping to ease the pressure on his position and gain time for his own development. 7 nd3, the knight retreats but remains active. From d3, it keeps an eye on the key central squares and can be rerouted to support white's attack. 7 x4, Fischer captures the central pawn, going up 2 pawns in material. However, his king remains in the center, and his development is lagging behind white's. 8 bxf4, Spassky recaptures the pawn and develops his bishop to a fantastic square. It now exerts strong pressure on black's center and undeveloped kingside. 8 bg7, Fischer fianchettos his bishop, creating counter-pressure against white's center and preparing to get his king to safety by castling as quickly as possible. 9 nc3? An aggressive but slightly inaccurate move. While Spassky develops another piece, this allows Fischer to exchange knights and relieve some of the immediate pressure. 9 nxc3, Fischer correctly exchanges knights. This trade eases the pressure on his position and simplifies the game, which should favor him due to his extra pawn. 10 bxc3, Spassky recaptures, accepting doubled pawns. While a structural weakness, it also opens the b-file for his rook, creating potential long-term attacking chances. 11 b2, Spassky calmly develops his bishop and prepares to castle. He is not rushing the attack, instead focusing on coordinating his pieces for a decisive blow. 11 cxd4, Fischer opens the center, seeking to create counterplay. He cannot afford to sit passively and must open lines for his own pieces to fight back. 12 Spassky gets his king to safety and brings his rook into the attack. With all his pieces now developed, the full force of his initiative is about to be felt. 12 nc6, Fischer finally develops his last minor piece. He is desperately trying to consolidate his position, but white's attack is already well advanced and very dangerous. 13 bxg4, a powerful exchange. Spassky sacrifices his bishop's mobility for a moment to rip open the g-file, exposing the black king to a direct and deadly assault. 13 Fischer is forced to castle directly into the fire. While it gets his king out of the center, it also places it on the very file Spassky just opened. 14 bxc8, Spassky eliminates a key defender. By trading the bishop for the knight, he removes one of the crucial pieces protecting the black king from the impending attack. 14. Rx c8, Fischer recaptures with the rook, which now takes on a defensive role. However, the absence of the knight as a kingside defender is a major concession. 15. Qg4, the queen moves to its optimal attacking square. From g4, it creates multiple threats against the exposed black king and coordinates perfectly with the rooks. 15. F5, forced to create a defensive shield, Fischer pushes his f-pawn. This blocks the immediate threat but fatally weakens the dark squares around his king. 16. Qg3, Spassky subtly repositions his queen. From g3, it maintains the pressure on the kingside while also preparing to exploit the newly weakened dark squares. 16. Dxc3, Fischer grabs a pawn, creating a passed pawn. While a distraction, it does little to solve the fundamental problems of his exposed king's safety. 17. Re1, the final piece joins the assault. With the rook coming to the e-file, all of Spassky's pieces are now aimed directly at the black king. The pressure is immense. 17. Kh8, a necessary prophylactic move to sidestep any checks on the g-file, but black's position is already critical. The defensive task is nearly impossible. 18. Kh1, a calm and cool move from Spassky. Before delivering the final blow, he takes a moment to improve his own king's safety, demonstrating great composure. 18. Rg8, Fischer brings his rook for defense along the g-file, but it's not enough to hold back the tide. White's coordinated attack is simply too strong. 19. Bxd6, Spassky wins a key pawn and attacks the critical defender on f8. The material is evening out, but White's attack remains decisive and overwhelming. 19. Bf8, the bishop is forced to retreat, further weakening the defense. This allows White's queen and rooks to find new avenues of attack into the position. 20. B5 plus, a decisive check. This move forces the exchange of black's best defensive piece, leaving the king completely naked and exposed to the final assault. 20. Next 5, forced. Fischer must trade, but this removes the last guardian of his king. The position is now completely lost, and the rest is a matter of technique. 21. C5 plus, the queen recaptures with check, now a dominant force on the board. It controls key squares and is poised to deliver the final, decisive blow. 21. Rg7, the rook interposes, but this is only a temporary delay. The mating threats are coming from all sides, and black's position is beyond repair. 22. Rxf5, the rook captures the pawn with crushing force. It attacks the queen and prepares to swing to the 7th rank, sealing black's fate completely. 22. Qxh4 plus, a last, desperate check from Fischer. He is trying to create some confusion in the final moments, but Spassky's king is perfectly safe. 23. Kg1, the king calmly sidesteps the check. All of black's counterplay has been exhausted, and now White will deliver the final, decisive combination. 23. Qg4, the queen retreats, trying to set up a defense, but White's attack is too powerful to be stopped. The end is now very near. 24. Rf2, a precise defensive move. Spassky secures his king from any further checks and prepares to reorganize his pieces for the final, winning attack. 24. B7, the bishop tries to rejoin the defense, but it's a futile gesture. The game is long past the point of saving for black. 25. Re4, another piece joins the final assault. The rook creates a new, unbearable threat against the black queen, forcing a winning simplification. 25. Qg5, the queen is forced to retreat, but there are no safe squares. The game is now effectively over, and Spassky will finish it with precision. 26. Qd4, the queen centralizes, creating new and decisive threats. From d4, it controls the entire board and prepares the final winning combination. 26. Rf8, a final attempt to create some counterplay with the rook, but it is far too little and far too late. The position is completely hopeless. 27. Re5, the rook returns with decisive force, creating an unstoppable threat against the black queen and tightening the mating net around the king. 27, rd8, a final attempt to complicate, but it does not change the outcome. White's attack is too strong, and the position is beyond repair. 28, qe4, the queen moves to the final, decisive square. It creates an unbreakable pin and prepares the winning tactical shot that will end the game. 29, rf4, the final, elegant blow. The rook attacks the queen, and due to the pin on the d-file, black will lose massive material or be checkmated. Fischer resigns. 1-0. 1-0 Black resigns.